Hey guys, it's Sluggy. So today's video I'm going to be showing the process that I took for this commission piece that I was hired to do. I was asked to depict a client and her boyfriend going on their favorite thing to do, which is going on hikes, and with her adorable dog. So yes, this is the process that I took. Right now I am doing the color thumbnail. Like always, if you watch my video, I always do a color thumbnail where this is really tiny. Like if you see the size of my finger and the pen compared to this, it's really, really small on my screen, which I later then blow up really huge, where I will then do an actual more detailed painting. And right now, again, I'm not worrying about layers that much. I think maybe I do it to a certain extent just to help with, maybe I think I put the dog on its own layer and then the background on a separate layer, but the characters and everything, I'm not super clean about it in this part because I'm really just trying to figure out colors, being really messy and being really quick about it. So yeah, that totally, that just speeds up the process because I don't need to put that same effort on a color thumbnail. So yeah, just go sloppy, go crazy on your color thumbnails, girls. Yeah. And so I guess I can talk a little bit just about what were the steps to get to this point. I did a whole page of just really small thumbnails of really quick, nothing that looks pretty. It was a lot of chicken scratches, just really quick drawings of what the composition could look like. Like all you can tell from it is that there's a woman and a man, and some of them there's a dog. We weren't really sure yet whether we were gonna include the dog or a background. I let her know that I'll just do sketches and she can just decide if that's what she wants. Because of course, adding another character or adding backgrounds does add to the price because it takes me longer. So that's kind of how it worked. So I sent her the first page and then she responded with her favorites, with some feedback and just little elements of what she wanted. And something that helped me a lot too was that she sent me just a list of kind of their favorite things to do, or just little quirks about them to help me figure out, I guess, how to even start depicting them. Because I didn't want to just do a generic couple, if this is as a gift especially, or if this is depicting a real couple. I want to make sure that it not only looks like them, but it's something that they would obviously do. Like I'm not going to make them go skydiving if that's never something they've never done. Anyway, one of their favorite things to do is go hiking, so I'm really glad that she picked this one. I was happy that she decided on this one. I think this was really fun, and I'm really happy that she decided to include her dog, who is adorable. She sent me so many reference pictures, and it was just perks of being a freelance artist. You get a lot of animal pictures as well. But I'm glad that she decided to include her dog because not only is she adorable, but she also helped a lot with the composition. Right now, this is not a great insight into that because of just how zoomed in this is, but what's great about the dog is that she looks up at the couple. So at some point when we zoom out here, it makes the whole overall composition makes a triangular shape, which is really nice because then all of your eyes is leading up to the couple's face, which of course is the part that's most important. That's where people relate to. That's again the money shot. So it's really nice to have this dog that's looking up at them. So not only is she making like a swooping triangle shape that is pointing at them, eye contact, her eyes are actually looking at them, which just a little art tip is humans are always gonna want to look at whatever someone is looking at. So I just think about it, like if you see somebody staring intently at something, you want to see what they're looking at, and so it's kind of just human nature to look at what the direction that whatever it is looking at. So That's why it's nice to have the dog looking up at the couple, because then you first look at the couple, then your eye kind of wanders around the image. You look at the dog and you notice that the dog is looking at the couple, so your eye goes back to their faces. So it's kind of just this cycle of people looking at each other. So yeah, that's why I'm glad, because I think it makes the dog made a really good compositional element that I'm happy to have included. So now I'm just doing a lot of details of trying to put in their their form shadows. Usually I do cast shadows last. And I'm not sure if I ever really explained it, and I don't know if this is too obvious of information, but I think I'll just explain the difference between cast shadow and form shadow. So cast shadow is the shadow that you cast onto another object, while form shadow is the shadow that is formed around your body because of light from one direction. So cast shadow is a shadow of another object cast onto an object. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I do that here and there, but usually I mostly stick to form shadow in the beginning, unless I feel like the cast shadow is a huge part of the composition. For example, like the rocks, I really wanted this backlighting, but also because I think the cast shadows of the rocks, they all again make this triangular shape that's pointing towards the important stuff, like the couple. And not only do I think this stride, like having someone's heel just about to step down on the ground, look the best when it comes to the look of a walk, the pose of walking, but I think it's also nice to have him standing that way because his legs also make another triangle that is pointing again at the couple's face. So yeah, lots of triangles in this image that I totally didn't even realize until now. I was like, oh, I made those choices. Good job, Sluggy. Anyway, so yeah, the way I work, and I guess this is kind of more going back to some parts that I skipped ahead, but I like to work in a way where I use clipping masks a lot. So what I do is, once I've decided on the sketch and the color thumbnails, I then go in, put every element on its own layer. So like the background is on its own layer, the dog is on its own layer, each couple, like each person, is on their own layer, and then the foreground, like that rock in the front, is in its own layer. And I start off with just putting in the basic shape, the overall shape of that character or that element, and then I lock it. So I don't touch, once I'm happy with the silhouette, I pretty much rarely ever touch it, because one, I don't want to noodle. I want to, the way I work is pretty methodical if you think about it. Like, I work on the color thumbnail first. So at that stage, I only worry about color. I don't try to worry about anything else. I just worry about color and lighting. Then the second stage, I'm worrying more about the silhouette. So I put in the basic shapes I put in the shapes and the silhouette of the characters, and I work with that, like just their silhouette, if I like the ear or where it's pointing, or if I like the way her feet are posed in this silhouette, if that's really readable. And once I'm happy with the silhouette, then I'm worrying about details and I'm worrying about shadow. Well, not even that much shadow, because for the most part, that's figured out in the color thumb based on my color choices. But yes, like the way I work is like I try to just make sure that I'm not trying to overwhelm myself at every step. So once I'm done with the silhouette, I want to lock it, because I don't even want that to be an issue at this point. And of course, that doesn't mean that it's not editable. I'll look, I'll, like, for example, like here when I'm fixing the hand, like that didn't work out in the beginning. But I'll fix it later if I feel like there's something really wrong with it while I was detailing. But then that way, like, I'm kind of I'm just more focused on something, and my brain not shut off, but it's like my hand can just do its thing. And yeah, I like working like this because it's really organized, and right, and it, to me, it makes me feel a lot less overwhelmed when I'm just, when I'm painting, because then I feel like I have like steps to go through. I have checklists that I'm done with. But like I said, like I will fix it as I'm going, but I just don't want to mess with it. And if I don't have to mess with it, then like I'm able to just focus on one thing. Like I'm giving all of my brain energy towards just detailing and making sure it looks as good as it can. But I also wanted to ask you guys if most of you know what clipping masks are, or if that's not real, if you don't, because then I would be happy to make like, would it help if I made a video about my most used tools? Because, you know, I made a video about my brushes, which I do need to update because a lot of you also asked how I get these chalky looks, which I don't get from my original brushes. This is from a Kyle T. Webster brush. But I could show how I'd make that. But the other thing is, like, would it be helpful if I made a video about my most used tools? Because brushes is a lot of it, but a lot of it is also just the tools within Photoshop. There's so many things that I use that I feel like really speed up my process and just make me faster, makes my life easier, makes it feel a little bit more like traditional art where, you know, it's kind of more intuitive. But yeah, please let me know if that's helpful at all. So this is the final image. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!